Okay, let's start with this lecture 3, which is about relations between norms and how to change norms. You know, last lecture I just pointed out that we have different kinds of norms, and I will now comment upon them a bit. Social norms, they are all norms are imperatives which are reproduced. Social norms are socially reproduced, and they are also an expression of expectations from other persons on my own behavior. So that's something which distinguishes norms from attitudes. Norms are views shared by many. For instance, the fashion changes, while attitudes are matter of what people think in a particular issue. So you can say that norms have a kind of societal dimension. It's a macro thing, while attitudes is a more psychological or socio-psychological thing. Economic norms are those which builds on knowledge about how the market operates or works, functions. The norm, they depends on our perception of what is most rational. Rationality is the core which decides the normativity of economic norms. And what is most rational is a question of then what is the best way of acting from an economic perspective. And it's the same with technical norms. They are built on the most rational way of, from a technical view in relation to building houses, building bridges, cars, or whatsoever. We have to stick to certain natural laws, and breaches of these are punishable immediately by themselves. For example, if you don't follow the instructions how to build a bridge, it will collapse. And we have to follow the proper norms. Famous examples of this from a Swedish perspective, where you have breaches of natural laws, are the warship Vasa, which is a museum in Stockholm. You can visit if you have the chance, which only was capable of sailing a couple of 100 meters before it fell down, because it was overloaded with cannons and other things. The point is said that it was the king who said to the shipbuilders that you have to do that and that and that, and in that way they broke the norms they have to follow. A more modern example is the so-called Hallandsås scandal. It's a ridge here in Scania where you should build a tunnel for the railway. And they started with drilling, with a huge drill, but they disregarded that it's not a mountain or a solid rock we are talking about. It's a kind of sand ridge. And therefore this drilling failed. It comes also only 20 meters or 25 meters or so, and then they have to draw it back and start with other techniques. However, one must distinguish between technical norms in relation to exploitation and in relation to conservation. What is taught in civil engineering schools and so on are the way primarily how to exploit nature. While the pre-conservation aspects are not that dominant. It becomes more and more important since we, via the possibility of the modern technique, we destroy nature to such an extent that it affects our lives, and therefore even politicians take decisions of in relation to sustainable development. It is an inherent conflict in relation to technical norms with relating to exploitation and conservation. So technology stands against the environment, and many times we have to calculate. That is something I haven't mentioned before. We have to calculate with norm conflicts. Of course, that's very present in society. The technology raises the conflict between technology and ecology. And in the same way, we have a conflict between economy and ecology. And so far, it's ecology which receives the role of underdog in these structural conflicts. We have also a conflict between rule of law and political power, built on power relations. Many countries, the politicians just take over, and it creates a conflict in relation to division of power. So we can conclude that bureaucratic norms beats social norms. Bureaucracy comes first. It beats social norms and common sense. Economic norms wins over social norms. Here the social norms play the role of underdog. I don't say that social norms are always good. There is a risk for this, especially in prolongation of Jürgen Habermas' idea of distinction between system and life word. Systems are bad, they are instrumental, they just kill things, while life word is something regarded as good. And life word is not necessarily the same as social norms, but it's a huge part of the life word, so to say, is created by and could be understood by social norms. But social norms might be distorted by different circumstances like power relations, gender and gender relations, status, and social capital. Some people comes up first while others are down low. But they are the ones, these norms, the social norms, are nevertheless those who comes closest to us, those who we can control most, so to say. Okay, I think I stop here, and I will continue with the last lecture, which is about the relation between law and norms, legal norms and other norms. Thank you.